Hello, welcome back to another DCS video. In the Viggen today, I'm flying on the ACG Cold War server. And the purpose of today's mission is a anti-ship strike. The briefing here that's been provided is basically that there is a red fleet on its way somewhere in the sea for delivering supplies to an unknown haven. The blue Viggins will have to search for the ships and destroy them. Now, someone's already put a marker on the map here. Nigel or Snigel. So I'm going to take off from Kutaisi and fly south and then around and see if that is the target. I'm going to fly relatively high, I think, on my way in. And the reason I'm flying high is because I want to get a good viz on the target from a long way out, hopefully. Although I will be exposing myself potentially to surface-to-air missiles from those ships. So I'm not taking a jammer or countermeasures. I'm taking 4 RB-75. So this could be a suicide mission, but we shall see. Let's just get a few things in position to start here. I'm not going to bother with setting up the computer. This is going to be done entirely visually and using the F10 map to get my bearings. My initial flight path is going to be to Batumi. That is a bearing of... Where's the ruler? Losing these bloody icons. Bearing of about 220. Let's just check where we are on this airfield as well, because it looks like they're just using the default parking. Okay, I can't tell where I am on this field. Oh well. We'll check once the computer is booted up. Which way we need to go. So it's looking like 25. So we're going to take off to the west. That's about all I need to do for now. I'll go to normal nav mode and I'll turn off the unclutter and we'll just add some cockpit lighting here. So I can see the instruments. It is daylight, there are no clouds, and it's winter. Given that I have no idea where I've been parked, I'm going to have to try and work out visually how to get to the runway here. I'm going to turn left. And as you can hear, I'm already being lit up by surface or air-to-air something. I'm going to turn the volume down on that just a fraction, and I'm just going to take a look here, see if the runway is in that direction. It would appear not. This is one of the issues you have when icons are disabled, is that it can be extremely difficult to work out where you are on an airfield. I think I've just come out of this grouping here of parking places. So I think if I do turn left here, I'm just guessing, and I'm going to go into the snow. So this is why I'm putting super extra power on, just so that we can clear that snow and recover back onto this taxi path. So I'm hoping we've got a threshold here. And I'm hoping this is 2.5 or 2.6. Airspace is clear on the path in. 2.6, excellent. Okay, we've succeeded, and I do have an aircraft landing on the inactive runway dead ahead. I'm going to just come to a halt here. stick on nav mode. I have a Viggen coming in the other direction, and looks like he's got rocket pods on, or he's had rocket pods on. Or perhaps bomb racks. Yeah, it looks like bomb racks, and it in fact looks like he did not use his weapons. So we're going to get airborne. Stage 2 afterburn. Trimming up just a little bit on the nose. And I'll wait till I hit 250 and then I'll just start to rotate a little. Here we go. Just try and get the nose up off the ground. Gear up. I do have an afterburn over there. Someone's flaring. So we're going to turn left now. Immediately onto this 220 heading, which is going to take us down towards Batumi, I believe it was. And we won't start climbing until we're well clear of the combat area. 220 about there. And we'll hold that so we can start looking out the cockpit now. So there we have flares going off or something happening up there. It's far enough away for me to not be concerned. Get a bit more volume back in the radar warning system. All the external lights are off. As we come whipping over this lovely lake here. Just recenter track IR. And checking our heading. 222 thereabouts. We'll have to disengage the autopilot very soon and climb up over this little rise here. And this will give us some ground masking once we get onto the other side. Autopilot off. Up we go. Keep my visual scan up for whatever it was that was operating over there. I really need to get across this ridge. And we shall dip back down into cover of the landscape. So why am I not using the RB-15s, given that's a ship attack? The reason I'm not using the RB-15s is I don't actually know where the ships are. So the time required to program in attack coordinates for the RB-15s to get them to really do what they do best is not going to be there with me. I'm going to have to make visual contact first. But I still want a standoff weapon. There we go, there's the contrail. There's definitely something happening in that direction. So I've chosen my favourite weapon, the RB-75, which gives me a little bit of standoff. I can launch them nearly 10 kilometers away, and they also allow me to set up the firing conditions for the aeroplane relatively quickly. There's only 2 or 3 quick steps I need to do to get them in, to get the aircraft in a position where I can launch the weapons. It takes me about between 10 and 20 seconds to do so, so that's not too much time. Hopefully that means that once we make a visual, we can get the weapons armed and away as quickly as possible. I'm off course a little bit to the south, but I'm not concerned by that right now. We're going to adjust back to the right again. That's 180, and this will put us on about 200, so we can start coming right again. I want to clear this valley. The valley that's off to my right. get well out to the south, and then turn back to the north towards the marker that's been placed on the map. Aircraft's moving around a lot over there. We'll fly up this narrow gully here to the left, and we'll use the saddle. It's probably the best ground masking available. We've still got to get over these hills, so airspeed's getting low, so I think I'm going to turn the AFK on, which will adjust my engine so that it keeps me at about 500, 550. Just reduces the chances of me stalling out whilst I'm busy manoeuvring over this land, while still meaning I can keep relatively low throttle. Don't have to spend so much time fiddling with the throttle. The Viggen is equipped with a lot of really nice pilot aids like that just make life so much easier. Right, we've crested this and we're into the valley that I think I want to use to approach Batumi. Making a right hand turn now. I see a SAM. Or an aircraft. That is... Wow, look at that. I think that's an aircraft actually. No way, it's got to be a missile. It's going... Yeah, it's a missile. A missile was launched from Batumi down here. A second missile now. Third missile. So whatever's at Batumi is spamming the sky with missiles. I'm just going to check. I'm going to check quickly the briefing just to make sure that that's not an enemy airbase. Red holds Sakumi and Batumi. Oh dear. Batumi is an enemy airfield. Jeez. Okay. So I've actually sent my flight plan straight towards the enemy airfield, which means I'm going to adjust my planned flight. That's what happens when you read some but not all of a briefing. Had I not seen those missiles, I would have made the assumption that the base was neutral or friendly, and I would have flown right over it and got absolutely mauled. So it was a good thing for me that whoever that was sucking those missiles up into the sky. Airbase is basically down there. I shouldn't have terribly much more flying to do to get south of it. If I see a missile launch now, I can quickly jump down into a valley, and I'll probably need to go left. So I'm going to keep my eyes open and make sure that if there is a launch, we can eyeball it. I think I've got the airfield in sight down there. I may be able to make an attack run on the field. Go after the air defences. Oh, that is an incredibly tempting proposition. Okay, I'm just going to check the map quickly here. Is there a valley coming in from Batumi, and it runs parallel to a river? Yes, that's Batumi there. I can do a SEAD attack on this airfield, I think. RB-75s. Let's have a look. We'll see if we can see anything to shoot at down there. Okay. Let's just lower the... Oh, there's lots of objects I could shoot at. Missile away. Okay, I'm getting out of here. They've just launched a missile. So I'm going to... try and get below. Oh, and does this game crash? Oh dear. DCS. Jeez. Okay, I gotta turn AFK off. Right, so those SAMs have a greater range than my... SAMs have a greater range than my RB-75, the EP-13 scope. So in order to get within range of the RB-75, I have to also get within range of the SAMs, which is suboptimal. Just gonna disarm the weapon. Okay, so we should now be in the clear. And we'll proceed with the original mission intention, which was to chase down these ships. So a little bit of excitement there, but we've come away scot-free from all that. Going to re-engage the auto throttle. And we'll now head on to 270. Try and find the coast. I am maintaining my visual in case I see any more SAM launches. Those stutters certainly happened at the worst possible time. Let's check the fuel. We're now below 100%, so we can release the external tank. Tank away. So I have to try and work out where I am. 41. Don't know if that's correct. 41, 47, 4103. I don't think that's actually going to help me. We'll just put the hold on. And I think I'm unable to change those to digital. 4103, 410. Oh yeah, I should be able to work out where I am here. I'm in this lot, I think. 4103. 4103, 41, about there. I'm about here. So basically, I'm in good position now to fly 270 and go hunting for the ships. Bit of a roundabout flight, this. Hold the aeroplane in that attitude and commence a bit of a visual scan. I'm 99% sure we'll be in the clear over here. Okie dokie, 40 and 41, 405, 413, 405, 413, 405, 412. About here. Not quite as far south as I'd like to be, but I think we'll be out of range because I think we crossed over about here. So we can probably turn soon. Ah, that map marker's disappeared. I'm gonna basically fly about 3-1. Once we clear the coast, turn onto a heading of about 3-1, and then we'll start seeing if we can find ships. A bit disappointed that that map marker is gone. I should have put one in myself there. For safety reasons. I will see any SAM launchers if they happen to launch any, and I should be far enough away from the field now to be protected. So I'm starting to climb. I hope this is the last ridgeline before the mountains drop away, and then we should have the ocean in sight. Sea rather, the Black Sea. Nothing showing on visual check. Radar warning systems clear as well. Those are both two good pieces of news. I see the ocean. And I've got ocean at 12. I'll now head out on a bearing of about 270. See if I can identify where we are. I've got a... No, that's not a spit of land. I think that's a hill. Let's just check the map in case any markers have been put in. No, they haven't. About there it was. I'll put a marker in of my own, I think, and make a note of the grid reference so that I can perhaps enter it into my... computer. That is Batumi there, I believe. There's a river that comes out and the Batumi airfield's on the north side of it. I'm hoping we've got enough range now. We'll drop down low. We'll get down towards the sea a little bit. I can see 2 missiles, probably 3 missiles. They looks like they're launching from up that valley on a hillside and they're going straight out to sea. They are not coming for me, I don't think. Or are they? I've got what I think is an aerial contact out there.
Overlord, Dodge 3-1. Request bogey dope.
I've got incoming contact. Okay, let's switch to air for this. Contact is on my 1 o'clock. Right, I'm heading straight towards this contact and he's heading straight towards me. I think he's turned away. I've got missiles coming up from that airfield. Right, I'm going to get away to the south. I'm not happy at all about those missiles. Okay, we'll switch the air-to-air off and we'll drop back and head out to the south again. May have been a friendly contact that was buzzing around Batumi, because I think those missiles were going for him. I don't think they were coming for me, so I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to say it's an assumption, and we know about assumptions, but I think the evidence is pointing in the same direction here, that actually those missiles were being fired at an aircraft. The aircraft that they were firing at was the one I was looking at, which makes that aircraft a friendly. Yeah, he's still back in that direction. And in fact, he's just disappeared. So, we will now assume our original flight plan, which was ship hunting. Certainly going about this in a very roundabout manner. Not far off the water here. We are on hold. Scope is still in the on position. Let's just get that up to the horizon. Scope's not moving. It's a little unfortunate. We just have to put up with the flashing. Whilst we're doing this, we can now probably get coordinates for a waypoint. So let's try about there. What is the coordinates here? 4255 390515. I'm gonna have to write this down on something, and unfortunately I have nothing to write it down, so I'm just gonna have to hold this airplane where it is for a few seconds whilst I go get the pilot's best friend, a pencil and paper. Quick visual check for missiles. So we are going to get these coordinates back to front. That is, we're going to go with, instead of long lat, we're going to go lat long. So we want 391106 and 425022. That's about the heading I want. I'm going to now enter those into the computer here, and we'll assign them to waypoint 2, I think. 391106. And 425022. 425022. And that can be waypoint 1. Which tells me I've got to fly many miles on a heading of about 22, which is wrong. Okay, I've entered that incorrectly, so we're not going to trust the information I just entered. We're going to start climbing now. We are well out of range of Batumi and its dangerous pack of missiles. You can see now that the EP-13 scope has the horizon, and I'm just going to try and lower that so it's about on the horizon. We'll leave it there. Three zero. This is actually a good heading. Current position shows as 412402. About here somewhere, I expect. About well south. That's good. So a heading of 317 would be 317 would be good. I just have to hope that I'm out of range of what might be interceptors. We'll start climbing. We'll try and get not as much altitude as we can, but we'll try and get certainly plenty of altitude, because we are doing a visual scan for the ships, which won't come into range, I don't think, until we get about another 30 miles under the clock. I noticed that we are down to 70% fuel. So next time I think I'd go the other way, around to the north. A lot safer. 324. Let's turn right a bit more. I'm guessing that actual location to be where I am, but I think it's about correct. Well out of range of Batumi now. 3-3, that's a good heading. Hold the attitude. I want to keep the climb going. Turn the AKA off. And just go slightly before afterburner 1. So mill power. Now we start making visual scan in a bit more earnestness. A bit more earnestly. Four 4041. 401 414. 401 414 and 401. We are we're here. 414 401. That's where we are now. Heading to target area 319. Excellent. We are right on course. Our range to Batumi is now 100 kilometers, so I don't have to worry about their SAMs, certainly. Range to what I estimate the target location to be is another 120 kilometers or so. Our altitude now is coming up on 4,500 meters, so 14,000 feet, actually a bit more maybe. In that ballpark. Ships. Tally-ho. Turning right. Right, we've got a viz on the ships now. They are bearing pretty much 0 from my location. In fact, about 0.1 from my location. Let's turn the autopilot off and back on. Okay. I'm going to mark them on the map. They are here. And we will get the... Here we go. I can now start locking these ships up. Okay, let's get some speed. Weapon sectors on RB-75s. I believe we had a lock there. Okay, I'm going to try and get a lock on another one. Oh, that's hard. Are we locked? Yes, I believe we are. Second weapon away. And I'll try and lock this other ship. This last one here. Nope, I'm going to have to back off and come back in. So we've got two weapons away. There's a destroyed ship over there. And there's another splash. Let's turn back in and see if we can nail these last... get rid of these last RB-75s before any MiGs show up. So one of these two ships has been destroyed. I'm going to try and line up again. And autopilot needs to be on for this, I think. It's going to be a bit tricky without it. Okay. Let's drop the HUD. There we go. There's a ship right there. That's a beautiful, nice broadside view. Weapon away. And we'll go with one more on the same ship, I think. Why not? Let's double down. He's already dead in the water. Let's get out of here. Turn to the north. Autopilot off. Another splash. He's gone. Right, away to the north, I think, is going to be my best bet here. Get low. Get relatively quick. Check fuel status. 50%, that's enough to get home. Autopilot on. Okay, we have done the job we came here to do. 150 points, 3 ships destroyed. Let's get out of here before things turn for the worst. So the ships were located pretty much there, which isn't actually terribly difficult to get to. Certainly if I was flying this again, I would go around to the north to avoid Batumi. Batumi is a SAM nest, if ever I saw one. Quick check of the briefing now. We'll just try and work out which the friendly airfields are. Kutaisi and Senaki Kolki for rearm and refuel. Senaki Kolki there. So that's not ideal. I have to basically get back to Kutaisi, I think. We'll turn to the east. So you can see why I love the RB75 from this mission. It's such a versatile weapon. It does take a little bit of fiddling when you want to get it lined up on target. And I think I need to shift my controllers around just to make life a little bit easier from that perspective. But all in all, it's a very good weapon when you don't have a strict flight plan, you don't have strict coordinates, you're not entirely sure what the configuration of the target is, and you want something that you can fire with a bit of standoff range. 75 is perfect. And it's got a pretty high rate of finding the target it's been locked onto. It's pretty good at tracking. Okie dokie, let's just check. That's blue, that's red, that's neutral. It's a bit weird that Sakumi is red and these ones are red. I'm not entirely... I guess maybe the blue team is coming in from the east, but this map seems to have been structured in the way to make it so that blue has to run the gauntlet no matter what, and it basically funnels the blue players into this narrow area here to attack the ships, which is not very good. I like to be able to have a bit more freedom to go, shall we say, around when I'm conducting strikes. So Sukumi's somewhere over there. I really do run the risk of flying into it here. It's probably laden with SAM sites like the other base was. So we'll try and stay ALAP. I just made that up. That's for as low as possible. Let's go with that. And eyes open to the left for any nasties the old Ivan might decide to throw up at me. The wake on those ships was really nicely identifiable from a long way off. So I picked up the wake long before I picked up the ships themselves, which is good. That's a nice touch. We are closing rapidly on the coastline here. Time for set for home airfield. It's giving me a coordinate of about 115, 113, something like that. And it's telling me that we've got 90 kilometers to travel. Not a huge distance. Let's see if we can make it home. If so, this would turn out to be a very successful mission indeed. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 MiGs floating around, so I must still be very careful. The MiGs don't seem, or didn't seem very interested in protecting their target area though, so that gave me an open door which I needed to get in. Still no further contact, which suits me just fine. This aircraft's not the best air-to-air operator. We're going to need to increase our altitude in a few moments because we've got trees coming up. Nobody wants to crash into those. There's a seagull. We're getting awfully close to an aircraft travelling at 900, actually 1,000 kilometers per hour. Pop up over the trees. The land is increasingly rising here, so I'm going to have to just give my attitude a bit of a tweak. These trees are getting taller and taller relative to me. So let's head towards the field. We have... oh, I had like 170 before. Now I've got 90 miles. I read the distance indicator wrong. Plenty of fuel available. This is about stretching the range of the Viggen. I know I used the afterburner a couple of times, which obviously chews through a substantial portion of fuel. But when you're planning a combat mission, you always have to anticipate that you're going to need the afterburner for portions of the flight. We are basically heading into the airspace where when I first got airborne I saw some activity. This is a position west of our airfields. So I will be keeping my eyes open for nasties. Let's go up a bit more too, just to avoid terrain. Right, we've crossed up here somewhere. Yeah, we're about here now. They just went over that river, that piece of the river there. So I'm now heading straight towards home base Kutaisi. Contact in the sky. Off in that direction, just above the ridge, right there. I have to let him run. I do not want to bump into that chap. It's just a risky business. Distance to home field, 40 kilometers. So the instrument should now click around in just a second or so. There we go. Where's that contact? He's now below that ridge line on my long 3 o'clock. Moving left to right. He's there. Just a black dot. Won't show on YouTube, but I can see him visually in game. Quick check of the... No, I'll just bring up the frame rate. 55 frames per second here. It's about standard for me. Let's radio to Taisi.
Kutasi, Dodge 3-1, inbound.
We're going to use 25/26 again.
3-1, Kutasi, flying heading 186, port 12, QFB 29.78, runway 08, to pattern altitude.
Oh, runway 08 now. Okay. That's interesting. Runway 08. So that chap was landing on 08 earlier. And that's the runway I'm to be landing on here. Autopilot off. AFK on. Here's the field. So we'll turn right now into the downwind. And good.
Kutasi, Dodge 3-1, request landing.
I will deploy the air brakes for a moment or two and lower the landing gear now. Turn the reverse thruster on. We'll put the old impossible to reach light down. Retract the brakes. Visually confirm the gear is down. Yes, 3 green lights. Airfield off to the left. Threshold is clear. Airspeed 320. I'm happy with that. This is the most dangerous part of flight, especially getting bounced when you're on finals. Final is an absolute shambles, so maintain a good visual for enemy aircraft when on final approach. AFK off now. We'll fly this in manually on the throttle. 300 is a good airspeed for this approach. I would like a little bit more. Air brake. Confirm retracted. Landing gear confirmed down. Reverse thruster on. Someone is on the threshold. That someone appears to be rolling. Let's get some more lights on then. Just to make myself a bit more visible.
Dodge 3-1, Kutaisi, check landing gear, runway 08.
Please go, please go, please go. Yeah, his afterburn just engaged itself. Now I can confirm my airspeed again. Airspeed's lovely. Bit more airspeed here. And retard the throttle. afterburner on for full reverse thrust. Idle, and away we go. Looking for the exit to the left. We've got a taxi about halfway down. I left my HUD in the down position for the whole flight. The eagle-eyed may have noticed. It's probably why I had a little bit of difficulty with visibility sometimes on the HUD display, but hey. It has mattered not. We'll get this aircraft to swing its nose to the left. Runway clear. It's a Huey, I believe. All sorts of lights being shown. Okay, to the right for parking. I am going to park very near. Just whipping. We are at the parking area. Thank you very much. So, a solid mission. Throttle back. Starter off. Whoops. Sorry, starter off. Generator off. Nicely done, whoever that is in the Huey. Let's have a look. Ah, it's a Mistral. No, it's a UH-1H. It is Curry. Now, I think Curry used to fly in Cliffs of Dover. I wonder if it's the same chap. If it is, Gresti, servus, mate. Happy flying. So we're done for the day. That was an excellent sortie. Thanks to ACG, Air Combat Group, for the server. And as usual, to everybody else, happy hunting.